Great day, great day. This is No Slack Inc. coming at you live from Miracle Temple Ministries Inc. On the right, I got my man right here, Jonathan Mendoza, minister, aka I'm a Barrel, the assistant pastor of Miracle Temple, Giant, aka Giant, Elder Mitchell. And today we're gonna sit back, we're gonna talk about some great subjects, but we're gonna do it in the right order. So our narrator, the moderator, the only one dedicator.
Let's get it.
All right, Jonathan's gonna take us, we're gonna follow his lead. How about that?
What's up, fellas?
What's going on?
How y'all feeling?
Hey man, I'm in this zone, man. I'm fired up.
Look, we was having fun cutting up before we cut the cameras on, but we're gonna talk about something.
Well, you gotta have fun too.
Yeah, that's right.
You gotta have fun, because a lot of people think because you church you don't have fun. Man, I have more fun in church.
Yeah, I had the most fun I've ever had in my life. After getting saved. But man, we're gonna talk about something that's powerful, but I know this is something as dear to your heart. Because I know our pastor, he gives us, he's giving powerful leadership classes, and man, he's broken down the different types of leaderships. And then before we get into that, we're gonna talk about leadership, and we're gonna talk about two different types today.
Okay.
Wow. We're gonna talk about servant leadership,
right,
versus dictator leadership.
Okay.
So if y'all want to break that down for us.
Yeah, Jason.
Well, servant leadership, to me, what I've learned about servant leadership is that you don't have to make people follow you.
Right.
Servant leadership inspires people to follow you or to join you. Whereas dictator leadership, which I think I experienced the most in my life,
right,
is that it compels people to rebel, or in my perspective, or to basically get stuck. It's like get stuck in the mud. You're trying to grow, but every time you're trying to grow, it seems like you're not getting anywhere.
Right.
It seems like you're just in the mud, spinning the wheel, trying to get somewhere.
All right. Yeah. I like both sides, to be honest with you. I am a servant leader. Throughout my walk of 28 years in the military, I've seen all type of leadership, from servant to dictatorship. I mean, just it's so many. It's about 10 styles of leadership, but we're gonna deal with two of them today. But bottom line is, the servant leadership is what Christ modeled for all of us. I believe it's the most effective, but a lot of time you may think you're under servant leadership, but you're not.
Right.
Servant leadership is exactly what it says. We serve.
Yes, sir.
We put other people's goals. Servant leaders, to me, they are the ones who lead from the front, and the dictator's the one who cracking the whip. Right. This is the deal. Both of them work.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And it's sad to say this, that some people will not do good under a servant leader because they're used to doing what? Being told what to do.
Right.
And that's the danger of it. And I know we'll get more into that, but servant leadership is what I believe in, because only Christ is the epitome of being a servant.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Yep. So we're gonna talk. I want to focus on the word just leadership to be.
Okay. Yeah.
So when you hear about leadership, what is the first thing that comes to mind?
Oh man, for myself, leadership is able to influence a person to get the goal done.
Yes, sir.
All right. So it's a process of social influence. And this is the deal. Why I'm doing that, I'm trying to get you or whoever it is to maximize your efforts of others towards the achievement of whatever end state goal that we have set out to be.
Yes, sir.
All right. So that's my definition of leadership.
For me, it's direction.
Okay. That's good.
It's like a great leader would give us directions of where to go.
Okay.
And how we're gonna get there.
Right.
You know, what does it take? You know, where am I going? How am I gonna get there? What is my part in the equation?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And that's powerful, because a lot of people, and this can be related to any aspect of life.
Right.
I know you being a pastor, even if you look at your background, sergeant major, in professions, in your family, everybody wants to be a leader, but they want the title of leadership, but they don't want the responsibility of leadership.
Right.
Oh, well, that's true, because at the end of the day, everybody wants the end of the process, but they don't understand what the leader had to go through.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna tell you what makes a great leader also. how you was a follower.
Yep.
See, that's the
Yeah,
problem.
that's
We
true.
want the leadership part, but when we're following our leader, how are we responding or replying to their the work that they're trying to get us to accomplish?
Yes, sir.
And I always tell somebody, if you're a sorry follower, you're gonna be a sorry leader.
Yep.
No, it's no ifs and buts about it.
That's
When I was in the military, I was happy to see everybody that was above my rank get promoted.
Yes, sir.
And if they didn't get promoted, I looked at myself because I should be working hard enough for whoever's in charge of me to see them go to the next rank. Because I realize that they go to the next rank, I go to the next rank, so forth and so on.
Yep. Yes, sir.
I know for me, what I know from my experience is I've seen where I've been given a title,
Okay?
but there was no power
Oh,
in the
yeah.
title.
Yep.
It was just like something to make it would seem like it was something to make me feel good.
Yeah.
Right.
Feel good about it. Hey, you got a title, you got this.
Yes, sir.
And then I just walk around feeling good about it, but there was no authority behind
You
it.
know, it reminds me of the security guard in the mall
Yeah, top flight security.
with no weapon.
No
Flashlight. Flashlight in the
Come
can't do
on, man.
anything.
I just shake my head when I see that because if anything happens,
What is he doing?
you have no gun on you, you don't have a baton on you, you just, I mean, it looks good,
Yeah.
but you have no power, and everybody's taking you for a joke.
That's right. That's
So
right.
I can't stand that. You gonna give me the title, I want the power.
Yeah.
You talking about top flight security?
Yeah, top flight security.
And the other side, I've seen like what I've learned being here in the last 10 years, almost 11 years, is how a leadership starts from within. It's what's inside of you.
Right. I'm good. That's
Determine what's going to be in the front of you, around you, behind you. It's all what's inside of you, and that's how you develop into a leader.
Okay.
And that's how I see what I've learned from you, Pastor, being the pastor of our ministry, and I've been working with you for almost 11 years, and
Right.
seeing how you focus on developing people to become you always say, I want you to become what's inside of you.
Right.
I say I want you to become you, the better version of you. You didn't try to make somebody into somebody else.
Yeah.
You said the person that's standing in front of me, I want you to become a better version of that.
And the reason for that is because I don't know a human being that does not have great potential. I don't care where they was born at, what time, what location, what culture. Every human being, and you listen to this Facebook, has great potential.
Yes, sir.
Whether we exercise it or not.
Yep.
I was just telling Jason in the office a little while ago, everything that God created maximizes their potential, except the human being. Because we have free will.
Yeah.
Think about the tree. It's gonna grow to the max of its roots. It's digging down. It's gonna go to the height. I mean, so forth and so on. My dog at home is a old English bulldog. He's maximizing what he was born or bred to do.
Right.
All right. But then it gets to the human being. We are greater than any of God's creation. But God put something on us called free will, and we either gonna maximize or we go in the opposite direction.
And when you say it, it's powerful that you say that because it's something that I think about, something that I learned, something that I see you do, something I see Jason do. It's one powerful word that a lot of people don't like hearing is accountability.
Oh, that's good.
And
I
if
like
we talk
that.
about, we come from, if we talk about in a biblical sense, Jesus said, much given, much is required.
Right.
So I think that's powerful.
Yeah.
So I want to break down. So we're gonna go into the servant leadership first.
Okay. Let's
Because
go.
a lot of people, even I see it in the church, even I
Okay.
see it at work, even wherever we may go, you want the gratification to be in the leadership, but
Right.
you don't want to put it in work.
Right.
And I know you see, I know Jason sees it.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk. Jesus washed feet.
Right.
Right.
Oh, don't talk about that now.
All right, and we got it. I've seen it where people don't want to help out. People don't want to maximize their talents. People
Right.
don't want to maximize their gifts.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about that servant leadership.
Okay. All right.
Break it down.
Let's do it.
Okay. Well, servant leadership, one thing I learned about servant leadership is you're doing something, you're basically having a less attitude. In other
I
words,
like that.
instead of being selfish, you're being selfless.
That's
You having that attitude when you approach leadership. Having that attitude,
Okay.
you praise
Right.
when things are going great, and you take the responsibility when it's not so great.
Yep, yes,
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
And then also the servant, since we're talking about servant right now, is that the servant allows, and this is what I think I love about being in the outfit in the military that I came up in, is that you have a voice. Where authoritarian leadership, you don't have a voice. It's do as I say.
Got it.
And it can be, I may not even do it. I just want to put fear into you to make you do something, and then I reap the benefit. That's authoritarian. But the servant saying, if you're going 5 miles, I may not run as fast as you, Jonathan, but I'm out there sweating with you.
Got it.
And I think that's the problem that we have in leadership, is that we got a lot of do as I say and not as I do. Because if you can't do it with the soldiers, then you are unfit to be a servant leader.
Yes, sir.
And that's just the bottom line.
And I believe that the difference, one of the main differences that I've seen in my life is when you're a servant leader versus being a dictator, there's a lack of respect when you're a dictator leader.
Right.
Okay.
Or when you're a dictator leader. Because it's just like you said, some leaders say that are dictators, do as I say, not as I do.
Right. Right.
So I'm gonna tell you to do this, you go take care of it. I'm gonna sit back and relax.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's a certain type of level of respect when you say, let's go run this 5 miles, and you right there, step by step by step.
And then I also think that we think servant leaderships are soft.
Right.
No.
Right.
Let's do it. We're gonna do it now.
Yep.
Now that's a time. I always say you gotta have a crazy day.
Yeah, that's right.
Because if not, they'll say, well, that's just the leader. But no.
Yeah.
We're gonna show you as a servant leader that also I mean what I say.
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes it's like Christians. They think we're supposed to be walk on all the time. No. If you study what a Christian is, we're warriors.
Yes, sir.
We're ambassadors.
Right.
We're leaders.
Right.
So we're called to get dirty.
Yeah.
So I think that's something, stereotype when we look at servant leadership. It's almost like we was talking earlier, I need you to come in. No. This is when I want you to come in.
Yeah.
And this is how we're going to do it. I'm talking about on a job or something like
Yes,
that.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Because if not, people start taking your servant leadership. But if a dictator was there, they wouldn't have no problem.
Yeah.
They'll be they'll be early.
Before time.
Because they already know this joke gonna write me up.
So
But a
look,
servant leader, you try to take advantage of.
And that's why let me ask you, I'm about to throw something at y'all.
Okay,
Being
throw
a
it.
leader, I'm looking at 2 leaders right now.
Okay.
Being a leader, does that mean you're always gonna be liked?
No. In fact, if you Lord have mercy, man. My definition, I know a lot of people don't like me.
Yes, sir.
I think there's some that do, but I think there's a lot that doesn't. And so it just depends. We carry ourselves in a friendly way,
Yes, sir.
but everybody is not going to like you.
Yeah.
And if you're in the business of everybody liking you, you'll never be a leader.
Yeah.
Because there are gonna be some calls that you're gonna have to make that they're not gonna understand.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they don't cause me to mistreat you either.
Yes, sir.
If you don't like me, it shouldn't be based on my leadership. It should be based on me probably abusing my leadership. That makes sense?
Yep.
I know for me, emotionally, I want everybody to like me.
Yeah.
But I learned, and Pastor, you helped me with this. As a leader, you cannot lead by your emotion.
No, you can't do that, man.
Because you always say you're gonna be going over here, you're gonna be over here. You're not going in the direction. You're gonna be where everybody else wants you.
Right.
Because you're gonna respond based on how they like you, how they feel about you, and then that's how you're gonna respond. And then it's gonna cause you to be biased towards the people who like you and the people who don't like you and all those different things. But one thing I learned is that you do what God called when it comes to leadership.
Right.
And when as we study the Bible, we do all these different things. One of the studies that we're doing now with Jeremiah, he was not very popular.
It was not popular, man.
He was not very popular at all. Why? It was but he was popular with God.
And that's really.
And it was because the things he was saying, they were the truth, and they came to pass.
Right.
But people didn't like him because of it. But he didn't stop or revolt or change his speech.
No. Jeremiah said, "Thus said the Lord," and he knew the outcome if they didn't do what God had told them to do. And that's sometimes I think as leaders, it's not just in the church; it's on the job. You're a manager. I mean, you're a leader in the church. So at the end of the day, when we make these calls, God has given us these calls for others to follow. So, but is everybody gonna follow? No. But at the end of the time, you know, if they don't do it, it's gonna be destruction come on.
Yes, sir. Yep. So what I'm getting at, to be a great leader, my understanding is no excuses.
No excuses, man. In the military, we had something say the maximum range of an excuse is 0. Once you start making excuses, you are backpedaling. Sometimes I have made some bad calls as leaders, even in wartime. But guess what? At the end of the day, when I got called on the carpet, I would, if I could make those orders and do those things again, I would do the same thing because I thought it was the right call. So, speaking of that, if I feel that it's the right call, and it can be the wrong call, but I got that gut feeling that this is the way that we should go, so forth and so on, it makes me just, you know, looking at myself, I'm looking at this type of leadership as, if you want to get out of hot water quicker, if it's the general or whoever it is, you just say no excuse.
Right.
I accept failure in this area that my team jacked up. And it wasn't on them. It was on me since I'm in charge of them. And people will respect you because of that instead of trying to say, well, no, it was trying to put blame on somebody.
That is
I can't stand the blame game. If you're gonna be a leader, you take the credit when the thing's going right. When it's going wrong, you take the credit when the thing's going wrong.
And then I'm glad you said that, because now we're veering off into talking about dictator leadership. I believe that's what a dictator does.
Okay.
He tells you what to do. When something goes wrong, it's your fault.
Right.
When something goes wrong, because I wasn't out there.
Oh yeah.
So, let's break down the leadership style of being a dictator.
Well, dictator brings fear to you. All right. And like I say, that style works. Can't say it doesn't work.
Right.
Majority of your leaders are authoritarians. So it works. It can be, and you don't have to be mean to be a dictator. You can just be like, hey, at the end of the day, it's a fine line that if I ask you to be here at 9 o'clock and you show up at 9:05, dictator say, okay, come sign. Once I get my paperwork built up on you, you fire.
Yes, sir.
That speaks louder, and that's a dictator. But look, the servant is the same way, but he may give you a little grace and mercy and not let you sign.
Yes, sir.
But that dictator saying, I'm going by the books because I got a lot of people that want a job. But so sometimes it's not bad being a dictator. Sometimes being a servant can go against you too. So you gotta have really a fine line of both. That makes sense? You gotta have a little authoritarian and you gotta have servant. It's just when it all boils down is when you're too much of an authoritarian, you are basically cracking the whip. And most of them, they're not doing that.
That's powerful.
Yeah, one thing I learned, Pastor, being here is the scary part for me was I didn't know what was dictator.
That's good. Yeah, a lot of people don't.
You see what I'm saying? I didn't recognize it.
Right.
It's like, so I was sucked into it, not realizing it until I came out of it, and then somebody was able to help me identify it, and say, hey, this is, like I remember that leadership class you taught like 10 years ago, Pastor. The very first one. And how you were showing, and I remember the picture you were showing with the guy in the back with the whip. And the people in the front. And he's they're walking and basically he ride. And then and then the other one you showed with the leader in the front. That was the first time coming to that reality of what the difference. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm able to recognize that even myself, even at my former employment, I was able to picture into my mind which is different. Which is different. And I saw both at my place of employment. I saw both of them. And so now I had to choose, and I had to balance things out on the way I led my officers and my people and stuff like that. So they can feel that they're being led, but they're being supported
Yes, sir.
as well.
And you was in a very dangerous job. We don't need to go into what you was doing or where it was at, but every day your life was on the line. And so, but based on your leadership style, you was able to, your team respected you as well as the environment respected you. It's never like seeing a leader that's leading from the front.
And those, especially in those situations, especially in the church, or anywhere you go, I feel that's why leadership is so important. Man, so man, and you said it earlier. I didn't think the dictator one works.
Right.
I used to think, because I used to think, oh, just because we don't like you. No. At the end of the day, every time I saw the dictator leadership, they got the end goal. It was met.
And you know what's sad? When you see the dictator getting results and the servant not getting results.
Yeah. Yep.
They both works, but one start taking the servant leadership for advantage.
Right.
And
right.
you even got churches got dictator pastors, when some got servant pastors.
Mm-hmm.
And you pretty much, it's sad to say that people like being told what to do. It's like entrepreneurship. Y'all know I push entrepreneurship.
Yes, sir.
No matter what.
Yep.
I love education, but I push entrepreneurship as well. But one needs to be told when they wake up, when they go to their job, versus an entrepreneur. Nobody's waking them up.
Yep.
They have to have that gut, that grind
That
to
push.
want to go do it. And it's the same thing in these leadership styles.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But some people, guess what? They cannot be entrepreneurs because they are used to being told what to do.
Gotcha. That is so true. That is so true.
Man, it's been powerful. Look, we're wrapping up. What's this episode? 13, 14?
Man, about 14.
Yeah, 14.
Yeah, 14.
Man,
15.
Yep.
It's 15? No, it's
14.
getting up there.
We're getting it.
14.
Yeah, we're getting to the 100.
Yeah, we're getting it in. So look, I want, man, a special shout out to the editor of the podcast.
Yes.
And my wife, they gave us some great ideas to go ahead and throw in there just for the topics.
Right.
Man, shout out to, I'm here with Pastor Carlos Wright,
Uh-huh.
Assistant Pastor Jason Mitchell. Man, this has been an awesome topic of leadership. And then when we see you next time on No Slack Podcast.
Do me a favor, share this podcast with whoever you want to share it with. And I pray to God that if you're ever in our area, come visit our church.
That's right.
Miracle Temple Ministries. You can look us up, and we'd love to have you. And if you want to just come one day and be on the podcast, I want you to come on here.
Yes, sir.
Come and talk to us.
Yes,
I
sir.
invite everybody. I like to hear what everybody got to say.
Everybody come
All
out.
right. Everybody come on out. Let's make it a family affair.
All right,
God
y'all.
bless you.
Let's do it.